I'd like to introduce Anne from England, who takes LDN for multiple sclerosis. Thank you for joining me, Anne.
Thank you. Hello.
Could you tell us when you or noticed that there was something wrong?
I first started to notice back in 2002 when my hands, I started to get pins and needles a lot in my palms of my hands. I went along to the doctor and they thought it might have been iron deficiency at the time. And so they just told me to take iron tablets. In 2003, I moved, and the doctor there felt that there was something a bit more going on, and he wanted to send me for tests, blood tests.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came back, he said, yes, there probably was iron deficiency going on there, but by then I'd started to feel tingling in my legs as well, and slight numbness. And so they decided they would go further into tests, and I had the MRI scans, I had a lumbar puncture done, and they found that the signs were that I had MS. The next year they determined it was relapsing remitting MS,
Mm-hmm.
and I was given steroids initially when they found out that this is what it was. I stopped walking as well. I couldn't walk very well. And the steroids were given to me intravenously for, I think it was 3 days. And after a few weeks, I started to walk again, and it helped me a lot. And then I had another relapse a few years later, and they again gave me steroids. This time tablets were given to me. Again, they worked, but they still left me with some of the scarring, and my arm was affected at that time, and I couldn't use my left arm very well. It was numb. And it left me with scars in my left hand and numbness. Then, a few years later, I had problems walking again. Sometimes they said it's around the times of things happening in my family, and that might have been why at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was getting married, and I suddenly found I was finding it difficult to walk again. Again, I was given the chance for steroids, and I took them. And it sort of worked, but not completely this time. So I was left with the numbness in both hands, which stayed with me until this year. And then this year, I started to, I was on gabapentin by then, because I was getting a lot of spasms in my legs and my feet last year. And they put me on gabapentin. They told me to start at 100 milligrams and work my way up as I needed it. I made it as far as 300 milligrams after a few months, and I felt that I still wasn't getting any joy. I was still getting lots of cramps.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to my doctor and I said this wasn't working. He said, well, up it to 900. And I said, I don't really want the side effects from gabapentin. I've heard what it can do to people, and I don't want to be on it for life like you're telling me I will be. So that's where I said, I'm going to go away and do some research. And I looked on the internet on MS symptoms and research about MS, and I came across your website, thankfully, and it told me a lot of what I wanted to hear, which was that it was non-toxic and that it helped a lot of symptoms. So about a month ago, I decided I would buy some of the LDN from Dixon's Chemist in Glasgow. And after taking it for only 3 days, I found the numbness in my left hand had completely gone.
Oh, wow.
And in my right hand, there was tingling going on. It wasn't, I wasn't happy with that one still.
Mm-hmm.
And up to today, the left hand has stayed the same. It's completely cured, but the right hand still has a bit of tingling in it. But I'm going to go endeavour with it. I'm only on 1 to 2 milligrams at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor did tell me I can go up to 4 milligrams, but I'll see how it goes, trial and error.
Well, you're doing remarkably well, because I mean the doctors that I've interviewed, if you have to press them to say how soon do you think somebody would notice, and it's usually by 4 months people have noticed something. So for a month you've done remarkably well.
I wonder, yes. I mean, I haven't had to take, thankfully, much medication since that time, and gabapentin, I made sure that I weaned myself off it within the first week of taking LDN, because I was still back at a low dose by then.
Right.
And so, yes, I was quite surprised how quickly it worked, because I didn't expect to feel anything for a while. I do still find at nights I can't sleep a lot. I tend to keep watching the clock around 2, 3 o'clock. I don't know whether it's to do with what's going on with the medicine, but
you can actually take it in the morning, and it works just as well, and people sleep. But I would like to say something else before you carry on. Yes. People might think that you bought your LDN from Dixon's Pharmacy. You still had to have a prescription. It's a prescription-only drug, and it's illegal to buy anywhere without a prescription. So you said you bought it, but you obtained it or filled your prescription there, just so people are clear what happened there.
Yes.
So other than those, the sleep problem and the results that you had, did you have any other negative effects when you first started?
No, I haven't. I've read of people are feeling sickly sometimes. I've not had any of those symptoms at all. Mm-hmm. It goes down quite easily with me. It's a very pleasant taste. Yes, I've not felt anything bad, negative about it when I've taken it. It's not caused me to feel dizzy or ill, mm-hmm. or any of the symptoms that some people say. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm not taking any other medication now. It's not mixing with any other drugs, so it's just purely LDN I'm taking.
Yes, that's really good. What would you say to other people who are newly diagnosed with MS?
I'd say be really sure first what the diagnosis is. As we see on your Facebook and website, there are different medicines that they're told to take, and some work and some don't work with LDN. I would say definitely give LDN a try, because it does so much healing as compared to DMD drugs, which they can cause nasty side effects, and they have toxins in them. And I just think that I'm really glad that I found the medicine when I did, and that I haven't gone too far down the road to prevent me, from getting worse than I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be nice, Anne, to actually interview you next year and see how you're progressing.
Certainly.
Okay, thank you.